Jinnit is a creation of Allah made from smokeless fire as mentioned in Surah Ar-Rahman verse 55. They possess free will like humans and exist in a parallel dimension that intersects with our world. It manifests when you experience unexplained phenomena in your environment or feel spiritual influences beyond normal human interaction. You can recognize their existence through Quranic confirmation and prophetic teachings rather than seeking direct contact. To deal with this reality, you first affirm their existence as part of Islamic belief, then avoid curiosity about contacting them, and focus on protection through authentic supplications and obedience to Allah. Muslim jinn. These are jinn who have accepted Islam and worship Allah alone as confirmed in Surah Al-Jinn, where Allah describes how a group listened to the Qur'an and believed. They follow Islamic teachings, perform salah, and will be judged on the Day of Judgment exactly like humans. It manifests when righteous jinn attend gatherings of dhikr and Qur'an recitation or provide unexplained protection from harm to believers. You can recognize this through increased barakah in religious gatherings and feeling spiritual support during acts of worship. To maintain proper boundaries, never seek their help directly, as all assistance must come from Allah alone, and remember that even righteous jinn contact is prohibited in Islamic law. Kafir jinn. It refers to jinn who reject Allah and His message, choosing disbelief over faith and following Iblis in rebellion. They work actively to mislead humans from the straight path through whispers, doubts, and temptations toward sin. It manifests when you experience persistent evil thoughts during prayer, sudden urges toward major sins, or obstacles preventing religious obligations. You can recognize their influence through spiritual weakness despite knowing right from wrong, and feeling distant from Allah without clear cause. To protect yourself, strengthen your iman through regular Qur'an recitation, seek refuge by saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ir-rajim, and maintain wudu as much as possible since purity weakens their harmful effects. Iblis. He is the first jinn to disobey Allah and father of all Shayateen as mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf verse 50, where his refusal to prostrate to Adam stemmed from arrogance. He considered himself superior, being created from fire, while Adam was created from clay. It manifests when you feel pride preventing acceptance of truth, or when arrogance makes you look down upon other Muslims. You can recognize his influence through justifying sins, with logical reasoning feeling worship is beneath you, or refusing to admit mistakes. To avoid his path, practice humility in all matters. Remember, all creation belongs to Allah, and regularly reflect on your shortcomings rather than focusing on others' faults. Shayateen. These are devoted followers of Iblis, organized in their mission to lead humans astray through various specialized methods. Different Shayateen are assigned different tasks as indicated in Hadith literature about their systematic approach to corruption. It manifests when you experience persistent evil thoughts during salah, sudden family disputes without cause, or procrastination on religious duties. You can recognize this through feeling spiritually weak despite Islamic knowledge, having disturbing dreams, or experiencing unusual fears that prevent worship. To combat them, recite morning and evening adhkar, the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, before sleep, and increase Islamic knowledge since ignorance makes you vulnerable to shaitani whispers. Qareen. It is the personal jinn companion assigned to every human being as mentioned in authentic hadith, where the Prophet said there is not one who does not have a companion from among the jinn. This jinn stays with you throughout life, attempting to lead you toward evil and disbelief through constant whispers. It manifests as that internal voice encouraging sin, providing excuses for avoiding worship or creating doubts about Islamic teachings. You can recognize your Qareen by thoughts that justify disobedience, oppose your conscious desire to obey Allah, or arise during moments of spiritual weakness. To overcome it, strengthen your relationship with Allah through consistent worship, follow the Sunnah in all matters, and remember, the Prophet's Qareen became Muslim and only commands good due to his perfect obedience. Marid is a powerful and rebellious type of jinn known for extreme strength and difficulty to control as mentioned in classical Islamic texts. The word marid means defiant, and these jinn are particularly dangerous due to their power and unwillingness to submit to authority. It manifests in severe possession cases that resist normal ruqya treatment or situations involving unusually intense supernatural phenomena. You can recognize this through complex coordinated disturbances or cases requiring extended treatment periods with multiple qualified practitioners. To protect yourself, never attempt to contact or control any jinn, as this leads to shirk, and remember, Allah's protection through authentic supplications is sufficient against all jinn, regardless of their power level. Ifrit, these are cunning and malevolent jinn, characterized by intelligence and scheming nature, as mentioned in Surah An-Naml, where an Ifrit offered to bring the Queen of Sheba's throne to Prophet Sulayman. They are more powerful than regular jinn, but less than merit in the jinn hierarchy. It manifests when complex plots seem to work against your life in ways beyond normal human capability, or through coordinated misfortunes. You can recognize this through series of related problems, or feeling someone has unusual knowledge of your private affairs. To avoid their harm, maintain daily adhkar, never discuss plans and blessings excessively, and keep intentions pure, seeking only Allah's pleasure in all matters. Ghoul, it refers to shape-shifting jinn that appear in desolate places, particularly deserts and graveyards, to mislead travelers. The Prophet mentioned ghouls and taught the travelers dua for protection from their harm in isolated areas. It manifests through getting lost in familiar territory, feeling unexplained urges to follow something dangerous, or seeing apparitions in lonely places. You can recognize this by historical accounts of travelers encountering strange beings that disappeared suddenly, or led people astray from safe paths. To achieve protection when traveling, recite the complete traveler's dua, say Bismillah before entering new places, and avoid traveling alone at night in desolate areas as prophetically advised. Jinn possession, it refers to a jinn entering or controlling human bodies, causing what Islamic terminology calls mass or spiritual possession. This happens for various reasons, including jinn falling in love with humans, accidental harm to jinn, or jinn being sent through black magic. It manifests when a person exhibits dramatic personality changes, speaks in unknown voices, demonstrates impossible knowledge, or shows unusual physical strength during episodes. You can recognize this through seizures, without medical explanation, aversion to Qur'an recitation, speaking unlearned languages, or memory gaps during possession episodes. To treat possession, seek knowledgeable practitioners who perform ruqya using only Qur'an and authentic supplications. Avoid magicians completely, as consulting them constitutes major sin, and strengthen the person's faith through Islamic education and regular worship. Jinn who practice magic, it refers to evil jinn who work with human magicians to perform sir or black magic through contracts based on shirk. The relationship requires the magician committing major sins in exchange for the jinn's help in harming others through supernatural means. It manifests through sudden hatred between spouses, unexplained illnesses that doctors cannot diagnose, or consistent bad luck in all life affairs. You can recognize this by finding strange objects like tied knots, unusual powders, or written talismans, experiencing disturbing dreams or physical symptoms that move without medical cause. To protect yourself, recite the 3 Quls and Ayat al-Kursi morning and evening, maintain 5 daily prayers as prophetic protection, and never consume anything from untrusted sources, since magic can be placed in food. Jinn of inhabited places, it refers to jinn that dwell in human homes and structures, particularly old or abandoned buildings where they establish residence. The Prophet warned that entering homes requires saying Bismillah and giving salam to prevent Shaytan from entering with you. It manifests through unexplained noises, particularly at night, objects disappearing and reappearing, or family members experiencing simultaneous nightmares and disturbances. You can recognize their presence through children seeing things adults cannot, persistent family conflicts disproportionate to actual issues, or general unease in specific rooms. To remove them, recite Surah Al-Baqarah regularly. As the Prophet said, Shaytan flees from homes where it is recited. Perform prayer, especially in problematic rooms, and ensure family maintains daily adhkar consistently. Animals and jinn interaction, it refers to jinn's ability to take animal forms, particularly black dogs, snakes, and cats, as mentioned in various prophetic narrations. The Prophet said Shaytan appears as black dogs and instructed specific protocols for dealing with snakes found in homes after warning them. It manifests when animals behave with unusual intelligence, understanding human speech, or appearing and disappearing impossibly quickly in significant moments. You can recognize this through animals causing disproportionate fear or demonstrating knowledge beyond normal animal capability. To deal with this, say Bismillah when encountering suspicious animals. Do not harm creatures unnecessarily, as most are ordinary creation, but follow sunnah protocols for household snakes, and remember, most animal encounters involve regular creatures, not jinn. Daily adhkar protection, it is the continuous remembrance, creating a spiritual shield around believers, as emphasized in numerous prophetic traditions. This includes morning and evening Adkar Ayat al-Kursi after obligatory prayers and specific supplications before sleep and entering vulnerable places. It manifests when your spiritual state remains strong during Jinn activity. Homes feel peaceful and sins become more difficult to commit regularly. You can recognize its effectiveness through decreased waswas, reduced nightmares, and general spiritual stability in your daily life. To achieve this, memorize essential adkar, establish fixed times after Fajr and Maghrib for recitation, and maintain consistency even when immediate results are not visible, since protection builds over time. Ruqya treatment, it refers to the sanctioned Islamic healing method using Qur'an dua and prophetic supplications for spiritual ailments including jinn effects. It is lawful treatment mentioned in Hadith where the Prophet approved Ruqya with clear, pure words free from shirk. It manifests when Quranic verses like Ayat al-Kursi al-Baqarah's opening and the Mu'awwidhat are recited over affected persons with sincere tawakkul. You can recognize valid ruqya by absence of unknown words, charms, or innovations, and strict adherence to Qur'an and Sunnah texts only. To apply this, recite ruqya for yourself. Regularly blow lightly after reciting. Maintain patience and combine spiritual treatment with medical care and sincere repentance from sins. Waswas and whispers it. It is the primary method Shayateen use to influence humans through subtle internal suggestions toward disbelief, doubt, and sin. This is referenced in Surah An-Nas, which mentions the whisperer who withdraws when Allah's name is mentioned. It manifests when you experience baseless fears, obsessive doubts about purity, or persistent evil thoughts during worship that disturb your concentration. You can recognize this when wudu or salah are attacked by endless uncertainty, or when haram thoughts appear repeatedly without invitation. To combat waswas, ignore baseless doubts, recite the mu'awwidhat, seek Islamic knowledge to correct misunderstandings, and return to Allah through repentance whenever you slip into sin. Jinn knowledge limitations, it is the critical understanding that jinn do not possess independent access to Al-Ghayb, or the unseen realm. Only what Allah permits them to overhear from heavens in limited ways reaches them before being chased by shooting stars, as mentioned in Quranic verses. It manifests when fortune tellers mix small, perceived truths with many lies through jinn cooperation, creating deceptive accuracy that misleads people. You can recognize this when someone claims precise future knowledge or hidden information without legitimate Islamic means of obtaining such knowledge. To avoid shirk, deny all claims of knowing the unseen, accept what Allah revealed to His messengers, stay away from astrologers and psychics completely, and rely on dua and istikhara for proper guidance in uncertain matters. Jinn accountability and judgment, it refers to their responsibility before Allah and their final destiny in the afterlife, exactly like humans. They enter barzakh after death, are gathered on Judgment Day, and are addressed by Allah as communities as mentioned in verses speaking to both jinn and humans. It manifests when believing jinn express hope in divine mercy and fear of hellfire, while disbelieving jinn are described as leaders of misguidance. You can recognize this from Surah Ar-Rahman and Al-Jinn, where their fate is directly linked with human destiny and accountability. To internalize this, remember, the world is a test for all responsible beings. Recite these verses with reflection and strengthen your own preparation for standing before Allah on the Day of Judgment. End times jinn activity, it refers to their increased role in spreading misguidance and deception as the last hour approaches through supporting false prophets and widespread seer. Various narrations mention that innovation, shirk, and rebellion against Allah will appear as spirituality supported by devils working with deviant humans. It manifests when people mix Islamic terminology with occult practices, numerology, or strange rituals claiming secret knowledge or special powers. You can recognize this through practices combining Quranic words with non-Islamic elements or claims of hidden spiritual abilities beyond normal Islamic framework. To remain protected, hold firmly to Qur'an and authentic Sunnah. Stay close to scholars of sound creed, avoid curiosity about occult knowledge, and prioritize heart purification over exploration of unseen matters. So did I miss any type of jinn? Let me know in the comments below, and if you find this beneficial, kindly do a small favor by liking the video and subscribe to the channel. It only takes 2 clicks, but it means so much to me. You can also check out my other videos as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.